Hello students, so now let us start with the stator design. So this theory is actually not about how to design a stator right now. Calculations are not there, but we are going to understand what are the points we need to consider for a stator design. And complete stator design you will understand while we solve the example of a stator design. So this is a completely a theoretical part of a stator design. Okay, so let us recall first the stator of induction machine or synchronous machine. Both are almost same, but what is the construction of that? So mainly a stator can be divided with three different parts: the stator core, stator winding, and stator frame. Okay, so mainly we are going to focus on stator winding and stator core. So basically the function of stator winding is to produce the rotating magnetic field. So a three-phase distributed winding is provided inside the stator slot, so that when three-phase supply is given, it will produce a rotating magnetic field. And the stator slots will have a different type of shape and size. See, stator is a slot and tube type of a structure throughout its periphery where we have to provide the conductors, but these slots are very much important. How to calculate their the number of slot and everything is very much important. So all those things we are going to see in detail. Okay, the slots of a stator can have shape or size like open slot or semi-closed or totally closed type of a slot. They have their own advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so let us start with the first thing, the stator winding. So generally a single layer winding is used for small size motors having few number of a slot with a larger number of a turns per phase, but double layer type of a winding can be used for a medium or large size of induction motor. So why we have to use this single layer or double layer? What is the meaning of that? So whenever motor rating is big, the power that the stator is going to withstand is big. It means higher value of a voltage or current is going to be subjected with the stator. So according to the requirement of a voltage or current, we have to use more number of a conductor. So instead of a one conductor, we are providing two parallel conductors and making this winding a double layer winding. So this is the difference. So mostly in a smaller size of a motor, we don't have to do it because a single layer winding, only single conductor is enough. Okay, but if motor rating is high, then instead of one conductor we have to use two parallel conductor of a same phase. It may happen that in a single slot we can have two different phases. After all, we have to produce the rotating magnetic field, so that type of a construction will be needed. If we are using double layer winding, it means in a single slot, if we are using two different phases with double layer winding, we can have total 4 conductors. Let us say R phase and Y phase, both conductors are going in a same slot. But if it is double layer winding, means two conductor of R phase and two conductor of Y phase, means total 4 conductor can go inside the single slot. So this is the case of very high rating of a induction motor. Okay. So these three phases of the winding can be connected in a star or delta depending upon the service requirement. The squirrel cage motors are generally started by star delta starters, and therefore their stator are designed for delta connection, and 6 leads will be provided and they will be brought out, so that as per your preference you can make it star or delta. Okay, while the phase wound type of motor are started by putting the resistance in the rotor circuit, and therefore the stator can be connected maybe in a star or a delta, no problem. Okay, because in slip ring type of motor you already know the starting method, that mostly the torque production of the rotor will be taken care by the value of a rotor resistance, that we are providing very high value of the rotor resistance initially, so that good torque can be produced, and gradually we reduce the rotor resistance, and motor will gather the speed okay, and it can go near to the synchronous speed. At that time these external resistance are disconnected, and they can be short circuited later on. Okay, so there is no problem with a slip ring induction motor. You can have star connected or delta connected stator winding. Okay, now the second point is stator conductor. Now the stator conductor, over here we are talking about the what value of the current they are going to carry, and what will be the value of current density on and all that, what will be the shape and size of this conductor. Okay, so generally the current density of a conductor is kept between 3 to 5 ampere per mm square. Okay, so you have to note this down, current density of your stator conductor. Okay, the range is given is 3 to 5 ampere per mm square. Generally we will keep this value for the current density. Okay, and the stator current per phase we can calculate. Let us say if you want to calculate it, then stator current per phase, it is per phase value, is given by, let us say if it is denoted by IS, stator current per phase, it is given by Q divided by 3 into EMF per phase. So Q is nothing but kVA rating. Okay, so kVA rating divided by the voltage, 3 is there because it is the per phase value. Okay, so by this equation you can find out the per phase value of the current. Okay, now the area of each stator conductor. Okay, let us denote it as a small a, area of each stator conductor. So we have the value of the current, okay, and we have the value of current density. Okay, so you already know the relation between the current, the area and the current density. So from that same equation we can say that the area will be the value of current into the value of a current density. Let us say this current density I denote as a delta S. Okay, so IS into delta S will be the area. Okay, so this will give you the value of area of each conductor. Okay, where delta S is the current density in the stator conductor. Now for the lower value of a current, generally round conductors or the circular type of a shape we are preferring, and it is convenient. Okay, while if higher rating of the current is there, then in that case bar type or strip type of a conductor should be used. Okay, because if we are taking the value of area, let us say it is little bit bigger, the diameter is bigger, then it will be difficult to provide the winding in a high rating of the machine. Okay, so we do not prefer circular type of a conductor if current rating is very high. Okay, generally we can go for this type of a cross sectional area of the conductor. Okay, because if you are taking circular for high current of the value, okay, then the area requirement will be high. So better we go for a strip type or this type of a rectangular type of cross section area of the conductor. Okay, so this is the case with the stator conductor. Okay, now shape of the stator slot. Okay, very much important thing. Shape of stator slot. Okay, so the shape of a slot has important effect on the operating performance of the motor as well as the problem of installing the winding. Okay, so the slot may be open type or semi-closed type. Okay, so what is open type and semi-closed type? You already know it, but I can draw it if let us say this is the stator top area, then semi-closed type of a slot will look like this. Okay, initially it will be narrow, okay, and afterward its area will become bigger. Okay, so over here we can provide the conductors, okay, one conductor, two conductor as per requirement. Okay, so it will be narrow like this. Okay, and as we go upward, okay, then this kind of area will be there. Okay, in semi-closed type, it is the semi-closed type. Okay, and some of the slots are open type, so open type slot will look like this. Okay, let us say this is the stator, okay, and it will look like this. Okay, such kind of things are provided for better accommodation of the conductor. Okay, so that we can perfectly wound the winding. Okay, otherwise simply if you want to draw the open type of slot, okay, simply it look like this. Okay, throughout the periphery we have open type of a slot. Okay, and in closed type slot, what we have, we just have this kind of a thing. Okay, this area is covered by iron part, and this is the air gap where you can provide the various conductors. Okay, so this can be example of a closed type of a slot. Okay, now when open slots are used, the winding coils can be formed and insulated completely before they are inserted in the slot. Okay, so a formally wound winding we can provide, okay, because we already know the shape, size and area of this open type of slot. Okay, so formally wound coils we can have, and simply we have to insert them, okay, inside this slot like this. Okay, and also the windings are reasonably accessible when individual coils are to be replaced or repaired. So if any fault or repair is to be done, then simply we can take the out winding from here, we can repair it and we can insert it again. There is no problem in that. Okay, but it will be the problem in case of a semi-closed and closed type of a slot. Okay, because over here we cannot provide a formerly wound winding. Okay, because what happens over here, you can see the area is smaller and over here the area is bigger. Okay, of course our conductor are going to accommodate it over here, so it is having bigger size, so we cannot take this bigger size conductor from this narrow path. Okay, so this kind of a formerly wound winding we cannot insert. Okay, in open type of slot we can insert, in this type of a slot we cannot do it. Okay, so it is the problem. Okay, so in semi enclosed type of a slot, the coils must be tapped and insulated after they are placed inside the slot, and semi closed type of slots are usually preferred for induction motor because it can give a small value of a magnetizing current and less tooth pulsation loss. Okay, so we will see what is tooth pulsation loss. Okay, and in a small motors where the round conductors are used, the tapered slot with a parallel sided tooth is generally used, which gives the maximum slot area. In a large and medium sized machine where the strip conductors are preferred, the parallel sided slot with tapered teeth are used. Okay, so we will see later what is the parallel sided slot. Okay, so simply it means that we have instead of this kind of area, okay, we can have this kind of a slot. Okay, so single instead of a single slot we are using two slot. Okay, and instead of a winding around this, okay, we can provide the single winding around this, making it analogy similar to single slot. Okay, or pair, instead of one we are using pair of a slot. Okay, so that type of parallel sided type of slot are also used sometimes. Okay, but they are little bit complex, so generally we are not preferring it, we are simply preferring this type of structure, mostly the semi-closed type of a slot. Okay, so that is the thing with shape of the stator slot. Okay, now let us go to one more important thing. Okay, that is the number of stator slot. So it is very much important to understand how do we decide the number of a stator slot. Okay, I can say that this is the most important point that we need to consider for a design of a stator slot. Okay, number of stator slots. Okay, and it is very much important in case of an induction machine, in induction motor, because you already know that there are two phenomena, abnormal phenomena called cogging and crawling. Cogging means the magnetic locking, and crawling means motor will run at 1/7 of a synchronous speed. So generally this thing happens because of mismatch between the stator and rotor slot, or presence of space harmonics. Okay, so to avoid these two things, we need to select the number of stator slot very much carefully. Okay, but apart from this, there are certain points that we need to consider. Okay, that what will happen if we select higher number of a stator slot, and what will happen if we select a lower number of a stator slot. Okay, so based on that we are going to see this theory. Okay, and based on the harmonic, what we are going to do, that we will see later on. Okay, so let us start with the first point that we need to consider. It is called tooth pulsation loss. The first point for selection, or the most priority point, is the tooth pulsation loss. So first of all, what is tooth pulsation loss? So let us see one example, that let us say this is the stator. Okay, stator is also having some slot and tooth type of structure, we already know it. Okay, like this. Okay, for simplicity I will take the open type of a slot. Okay, so let us say it is entire motor. Also we do have a rotor core will also have slot and tooth type of a structure like this. Okay, and in the slot we are going to provide the rotor conductors. Okay, so throughout we have a rotor. Okay, so and this rotor is rotating type of a structure. Okay, the stator is stationary, the rotor is rotating, let us say in this direction. So if you carefully observe that length of the air gap. Okay, so look at this length. Okay, length of the air gap is very high. Look at this, length of the air gap is very low. So it is variable in nature. Okay, and as this rotor is rotating, okay, stator is stationary, so whatever flux over is there, okay, the rotating magnetic field that is produced by this stator, okay, it will try to go to the nearest tooth which is available. Okay, it will not select the long path. Okay, so from the tooth, okay, from this area it will not be spread out. Okay, because it will select this low reluctance path, and it will try to go directly to the tooth. If the rotor is rotating, then in this area after some time there will be a slot. Okay, so again this flux has to select some different path like this. Okay, so what happens, always inside this air gap, the value of flux or flux density at particular area or at particular point will not remain constant. It is going to be variable in nature. Okay, so this flux pulsates. Okay, this flux pulsates, or I can say that the nature of flux, if I draw the average value of flux density over here, okay, it will look like this. Okay, depending on the rotational speed and number of stator and rotor slot. Okay, we cannot expect that the flux density will have straight value like this. Okay, but it is going to pulsate, it is going to increase, decrease. Okay, it is going to increase and decrease, it will not remain fixed. Okay, so the value of a flux is pulsating. Okay, but it will create losses. How it will create losses? As this value pulsates, okay, there will be some area in this rotor tooth, okay, where the value of a flux will be high, or flux will be crowded, because flux want to select the low reluctance path. Okay, so if the value of a flux is high or flux is crowded, the value of flux density is going to high. If value of flux density is going to high, we have already seen the BH curve that if flux density value is high, the iron losses are also going to be high. So whatever losses are happening due to this pulsation is called a flux pulsation loss. So simply this thing is because of a variable nature of a flux. Okay, depending on this number of slot, it also depends on the speed at which the rotor is rotating. Okay, so this is how the some losses are present, called tooth pulsation loss. Okay, so in the motor with the open type of a slot, the slot openings have a considerable effect on the air gap reluctance. Okay, it means air gap reluctance is a little bit variable in nature. So the slot should be selected such that there is a minimum variation of the air gap. Okay, or the air gap reluctance should be as minimum as possible. Okay, see, if I am using higher number of slot, or if I am using very low number of slot, okay, then obviously the length of air gap or air gap reluctance is going to be different. So the effect of this variation will produce the tooth pulsation loss, and also it can create the noise. Okay, so this effect can be minimized by using large number of a narrow slot. Okay, we can reduce the large number of a narrow slots. Okay, because it is clear that if I use low number of slot, then your rotor will look like this. Okay, or if I am using low number of a stator slot, okay, it will look like this. Okay, they will have very big width. Okay, even rotor will also have this kind of big width. Okay, so in that case, okay, the flux will be more tend to get crowded. Okay, so that is why it is good to select large number of slot instead of a less number of slot. See, this is large number of slot, but if I use this is less number of slot, if I use large number of slot, okay, then simply what happens, okay, whatever flux is flowing from stator to rotor, okay, will quickly have some rotor tooth, okay, to go from stator to rotor. Okay, but if I use large number of slot, what happens, okay, this area, okay, the flux will not be spread out because this is air gap, this is air gap. Okay, so what will happen, all the flux will go to this area. Okay, and they will try to find that which is the rotor tooth is nearest. Okay, and more crowding of the flux will be there, increasing the flux density in the stator or rotor tooth as well, creating higher tooth pulsation loss. Okay, so what first point says that high number of slot are preferable. Okay, number of slots should be high if you want to reduce the tooth pulsation loss. Okay, second important point, it is the leakage reactance. So if there are larger number of slot, there are larger number of slot to insulate. Okay, so therefore the width of insulation will become more, and this means that the leakage flux has a longer path through air gap, through the air, which results in a less leakage flux. Okay, so again this point is also saying that the number of slot should be high. So with larger number of slot, the leakage flux and leakage reactance are reduced. So as the leakage reactance is inversely proportional to the number of slot, higher number of slot gives less leakage reactance and higher diameter of a circle diagram and higher overload capacity. So leakage reactance, this is how it is related with the overload capacity. Okay, that we have discussed before. Okay, so what this point wants to say, okay, that if we have higher number of slot, okay, again this is the comparison with a less number of a stator slot and high number of a stator slot. Okay, so stator, okay, and let us say less number of stator slot. Okay, less number of stator slot means the width is very high, and high number of a stator slot, it means that the width is low. Okay, high number of a slot like this. Okay, high number of slot, less number of slot. Okay, so this thing we are directly relating with the insulation to be provided. See, number of slot are less. Okay, so whatever insulation we are providing, okay, it will have a less thickness like this. Okay, side by side we have to provide the insulation. Okay, so most of the area can be covered by the conductor. Okay, in higher number of slots, what happen, we have to provide the insulation, okay, to each and every slot. Okay, each and every slot we have to provide the insulation. Okay, to throughout the periphery, whatever number of slot are there, okay, we have to provide the insulation. So what happens, the width of insulation, okay, number of slot are high, each and every slot are insulated, so the total width that this insulating material is used, it becomes more. Okay, it becomes more, so that what happens, the leakage flux, okay, or the flux will not tend to be a leakage flux. Okay, because of insulation, what happens, the most of the flux will tend to be a useful flux instead of being the leakage flux. Okay, so whatever rotor is over here, okay, let us say I have rotor over here. Okay, over here what happens, okay, the flux will find difficulty, okay, to go through the air gap inside the rotor. Okay, over here what happens, easily whatever flux is produced, they have lot of areas over here. Okay, so that they can easily go from here to here. Okay, so leakage flux will tend to become less, and more flux will go from stator to rotor. Okay, over here more flux will not tend to go from stator to rotor, because they do not have much options to go from stator to rotor. Over here they have large option to go from stator to rotor. Okay, so over here the leakage flux becomes high, over here leakage flux becomes less, and leakage reactance also becomes less. Okay, so leakage reactance is less, the diameter of circle diagram, it is high. If diameter of circle diagram is high, the output provided or overload capacity provided by your induction motor is also high. Okay, so again this point also favors that more number of slot are preferable. Okay, first 2 points, okay, both the point, the tooth pulsation loss and leakage reactance, both favors the high number of slot in a induction motor. Okay, so these 2 points are of highest priority, I can say. Okay, let us see the next point. Next point is the ventilation. Okay, provision of the ventilation. Okay, so for large number of slots, the slot pitch becomes smaller. So what is slot pitch again? Okay, what is slot pitch? Slot pitch is nothing but it is the distance between center of two respective slots. Okay, so this is first slot, this is second slot. Okay, and the distance between these two, okay, we call it a slot pitch. It is called slot pitch. Okay, the distance between center of two respective slot. Okay, over here if I want to define the slot pitch, so this is the center, and this distance, this length, it is called a slot pitch. So let us compare the slot pitch in case of less slot and in case of a more number of slots. See, slot pitch is less, slot pitch is bigger. So if a slot pitch is smaller, the tooth width is also small as per this figure, so that with larger number of a slot, the thickness of teeth will also become smaller. Okay, and it will also become mechanically weak. So we cannot or it is difficult to provide the ducts inside this slot. Ducts means some hollow area to which the air can circulate and they can cool down, or they can provide the ventilation. See, over here the area is bigger, so I can provide some duct. Duct means, let us say, certain area, some hollow area I can provide. Okay, conductors are already there. Okay, but I can provide some radial ducts like this. Okay, so that air can circulate through it. Okay, in a larger machine there are provision of hydrogen cooling or water cooling also. Okay, and they can cool down these stator. Okay, so if I am using large number of slot, okay, then ventilation can be a problem. Okay, but in a less number of a slot I have large area of a tooth. Okay, so I can provide some ducts for circulation of the air or some cooling medium. Okay, say hydrogen or water cooling or something else. Okay, so as far as this point is concerned, the ventilation, okay, we are preferring less number of slot. But let me tell you, this is not only the method of cooling of induction motor. Okay, there are certain methods for cooling of an induction motor. Okay, this doesn't mean that always we have to go for a less slot if we want to provide better ventilation. Okay, even with a higher number of slot we can have better cooling. Okay, but just not within the slot of stator. Okay, so ventilation is our third priority. Okay, fourth point is magnetizing current and iron loss. Okay, so you are already familiar with this magnetizing current, the I mu, magnetizing current and iron loss. So for a large number of a tooth or a large number of a slot, the tooth area is less. If you see this, if you take large number of slot, okay, or large number of tooth, this is the tooth area is less, so that the flux density becomes high. If flux density becomes high, it increases the magnetizing current. Okay, or the mmf required is going to be high. Okay, and that will make higher value of a magnetizing current. Okay, and if magnetizing current is high, okay, that theory we have seen, magnetizing current is high, the mmf is high, flux density is high, and because of that iron losses are also high. Okay, so this is again a problem with a higher number of a slot. The magnetizing current and iron loss both are going to be high. Okay, so this point says that a less number of slots should be preferred. Okay, and a final point or fifth priority point is the cost. Fifth priority point is the cost. So with a larger slot, there are large number of slot to be punched. Okay, with larger slot we have to see, this is one iron ring priorly. Okay, and we have to punch these slots over here. Okay, so with larger number of slots we have to provide more number of punching throughout the periphery of the stator. Over here